When my cheating wife and her lover mocked me at the bar, his arrogant pat on my shoulder and words, "She's mine now," earned him an invitation outside, where his blood told a different story. Be me, 31 years old, architectural engineer with a successful career. Married to Melissa for 8 years. Living what seemed like a perfect life in Denver. Sitting at an upscale cocktail lounge on a Friday night, trying to unwind after a brutal week at work. Nursing my third glass of bourbon. Mind wandering to nowhere in particular. Suddenly the door opens. Feel my heart literally stop in my chest. It's Melissa, my wife, walking in like she owns the damn place. But that's not what makes my blood run cold. It's the guy following right behind her. Vincent, that smug bastard with his polished shoes and fake smile. Type of guy who thinks he can charm anyone. Never thought much about him before. Melissa never mentioned him much. Barely saw him around. But now everything about him screams danger. Like a warning sign I've been ignoring for too long. They sit down just a few feet from me. Like some cruel cosmic joke, they don't even notice me. Or maybe they just don't care. Watch them laugh together. The same kind of laugh she used to share with me. Feels like someone's squeezing my heart in a vice. Try to keep my cool. But Vincent gets up, starts walking toward me. Blood starts boiling in my veins. He has the nerve to pat my shoulder. Like we're old friends. "You lost your woman, friend. She's mine now." Says it with the most punchable smirk I've ever seen. His words dripping with arrogance. Clench my fist under the table. Can barely breathe. Mind spinning out of control. Before I can say anything, he turns and walks to the restroom. Like he didn't just blow up my entire world. Stand up slowly. Legs shaking. Not from fear. From a kind of fury I've never felt before. Walk over to Melissa. She's got her back to me. Too busy with whatever's on her phone. Stand there for a moment. Does it give you pleasure to publicly humiliate me? Keep my voice low, but sharp enough to cut through her little bubble. She looks up, not surprised like I expected. Something between annoyance and amusement in her eyes. Like I'm just some inconvenience she doesn't have time for. Vincent returns from the bathroom, notices me still standing there. "Hey loser, you're still here?" He sneers. Something snaps inside me. Move without thinking. My fist connects with his arm. Hear the sickening sound of bone cracking. The whole lounge goes silent. Everyone's staring now. Don't even care anymore. My world's already shattered. Time seems to stop. Vincent stumbles backward, clutching his arm, face twisted in pain. Look at Melissa's eyes. They're wide with shock, but not for the reason I hoped. No guilt there. No regret. Just looks pissed off. "What the hell is wrong with you, Robert?" She hisses at me. Stands up, glares like I just ruined her perfect evening. Can't believe it. Here I am, catching her red-handed, and she has the nerve to be angry at me. My blood's already boiling. That look she gives me. Like I'm the fool in this mess. Pushes me over the edge. Feel my fists clenching again. Adrenaline still pumping through me. Force myself to take a deep breath. Losing control won't help. Not with her. Not now. "Are you serious right now, Melissa?" Can barely keep my voice steady. "I'm not the one sneaking around lying and—" "Stop it!" She cuts me off. Her eyes narrow. Like I'm some annoying fly buzzing around her head. "You have no idea what's going on here, don't I?" Shot back, voice dripping with disbelief. Because from where I'm standing, it looks pretty damn clear. Vincent's still groaning in pain, but still tries to be cocky. "She doesn't want you anymore, man." Grunts through the pain. "You're nothing to her." Turn back to Melissa. Search her face. Looking for any sign he's wrong. Any tiny hint this isn't what it looks like. All I see is cold indifference. Is that true? Voice barely a whisper now. "Am I really nothing to you?" For a split second, something flickers in her eyes. Maybe guilt. Maybe doubt, but it's gone in an instant. That same stone-cold expression takes over. She crosses her arms, like she's completely done with this conversation. "You've been smothering me for years, Robert. I deserve better than this." The word smothering hits like a punch to the gut. Spent years giving her everything. My time, my heart, my support. Now she's painting me as the villain, making me the bad guy who pushed her into another man's arms. "You deserve better?" Voice hoarse with disbelief. Is he better? Is this piece of trash who doesn't even respect you enough to keep things private your idea of better? She doesn't flinch, doesn't back down. At least he doesn't treat me like I'm some fragile little doll. He actually listens to me. Feel like someone just stabbed me in the chest. All those late nights we spent talking. All the times I supported her dreams, her ambitions. Everything suddenly means nothing to her. It's like she's rewritten our entire marriage in her head. Turned me into some controlling monster, while she plays the victim. Worst part is she seems to actually believe it. Feel everyone in the lounge staring at us. Silent judgment from strangers. They have no idea what we've been through. But right now, I don't care. The humiliation of this public betrayal. It's nothing compared to the pain of realizing the woman I loved, The woman I thought I knew has become a complete stranger. Vincent tries to stand straighter, despite his injured arm, still playing the tough guy. "Let's go, babe," says to Melissa, completely ignoring me now. "We don't need to deal with this." "Yeah, maybe you should go." My voice barely above a whisper. Can feel all the fight draining out of me, left with nothing but a hollow pit in my stomach. But Melissa doesn't move, just stands there, staring at me, lips pressed into a thin line. "You always do this." Her voice cold as ice. "You always make everything about you. You never think about what I need. What I want." Blink, trying to make sense of her words. This isn't the Melissa I know. Or maybe she's always been this way, and I just refuse to see it. My mind is swimming. A tangled mess of confusion, anger, heartbreak. Try to open my mouth to respond, but no words come out. Before I can process anything, she turns on her heel, walks out, leaving me standing there, shattered in the wreckage of what used to be my life. Vincent follows her, still cradling his broken arm, has the nerve to flash a smug grin, doesn't even look back. Just like that, everything I thought I knew about my marriage, gone. The lounge door swings shut behind them, left standing there in suffocating silence. Murmurs of people around me start blending into a dull hum. None of it registers. My world has just been flipped upside down, stuck in this horrible moment. Can't move, can't breathe. Stand there for what feels like hours. Staring at the spot where they were, everything feels surreal. Like it happened to someone else. Like I'm watching a movie, where some guy's life unravels in an hour. But this isn't a movie. This is my life, my wife, my failure. Walk back to the bar, moving on autopilot. Sit down in the same stool, grip the edge of the counter. Hold it like it's the only thing keeping me from falling apart. The bartender walks over. Guy's probably seen more bar fights and breakups than he can count. Gives me this look. Part sympathy, part confusion. "You all right, man?" asks while wiping his hands on a towel. Like this is just another Tuesday night. "Yeah, we both know it's a lie." "Bourbon, neat." He pours without another word. Slides it over to me. Find myself staring at the glass. Watch the amber liquid catch the light. Swirling around like my thoughts. Take a long sip. Let the burn distract me. Try to forget the growing emptiness inside. But it doesn't work. The alcohol can't numb what I'm feeling. Not tonight. Keep replaying the moment in my head, trying to make sense of it all. The look in Melissa's eyes. The coldness in her voice. None of it adds up. Had seen signs before. Little things I ignored. She'd been distant, distracted, her phone always buzzing. Messages she never let me see. Started going out more often. Gave vague excuses. Never questioned them at the time, but never imagined this. Had she been unhappy that long? Was I really that blind? Or was it all just an excuse? Her way of justifying the betrayal? Grip the glass harder. Knuckles turning white. The anger rising again. But this time it's different. Not directed at Vincent. Not even at Melissa. It's all aimed at myself. I had trusted her. I had loved her. Now left wondering if any of it was ever real. Bartender hovers nearby. Probably wondering if I'm going to break something else. But I don't have the energy. Not anymore. Down the rest of the bourbon. Let it scorch my throat. But the fire doesn't reach the cold pit in my chest. Nothing will eventually stand up. Throw some bills on the counter. Bartender gives me a nod. Silent acknowledgement. Like he understands this kind of pain, at least on some level. Don't say anything else. What's there to say? The night air hits me like a slap when I walk outside. Cool and crisp. For a second it clears my head. Pull out my phone. Stare at the screen. Thumb hovering over contacts. Want to call someone. Anyone. Need help making sense of what just happened. But who can I call? Closest friends are all mutual friends with Melissa. And family? They just tell me to calm down. Think things through. Give her a chance to explain. But what's there to explain? Saw it with my own eyes. End up calling my brother Anthony. Only person who would just listen without judgment. Picks up on the third ring. "Rob, what's up, man?" His voice cheerful. No idea about the storm in my life. Try to speak. Words get stuck in my throat. Stand there struggling to find my voice. Streetlight above me flickers in the dark. "Rob?" Anthony's tone shifts. "You there?" "Yeah." Finally choke out. "Yeah, I'm here. You sound like hell, bro." "What's going on?" Take a long, slow exhale. And then the floodgates open. Tell him everything. About seeing Melissa walk into the lounge with Vincent. About the confrontation. About the sickening realization that my life was over. Anthony listens quietly. Doesn't interrupt. Doesn't offer empty words of comfort. Just listens. Exactly what I needed. When I finally finish, there's a long pause. Hear him take a deep breath on the other end. "Rob, I don't even know what to say." His voice soft. That's brutal." "I'm so sorry." "Yeah." Rub the back of my neck. "I don't know what to do now. I don't know anything anymore. Want to come over?" He offers, "We can talk this through, or not talk. Whatever you need. Consider it for a moment, but I'm not ready. Can't face anyone yet. Not like this. Thanks, but I need some time to think." All right, but listen. I'm here whenever you're ready. Day or night. Appreciate that more than I can say. Thanks, Anthony. I'll call you. After we hang up, stand there for a few more minutes, staring at the empty street. Try to figure out my next move. But all I feel is lost, betrayed, like everything I built over 8 years, just crumbled into dust. Eventually turn and start walking toward home, though it doesn't feel like home anymore. The walk feels longer than usual, every step weighed down by the heaviness in my chest. Used to think of our house as a safe haven, where Melissa and I built our lives together. But now as I approach it, the sight feels foreign. It's not home anymore. It's a lie. A facade. Open the door. The silence hits me like a wave. Everything exactly where we left it this morning. Dishes still in the sink. Her jacket tossed over the chair. But everything feels wrong. Close the door behind me. Lean against it for a moment. Try to catch my breath. But the weight of what happened in the lounge keeps crashing over me, like a storm I can't escape. The house is filled with reminders of her. Every room has her touch. The photos on the wall, the vase of flowers she bought every week, even those decorative pillows I never understood. It's all suffocating. For the first time, I don't want to be here. Don't want to be surrounded by memories that now feel tainted. Drop my keys on the table, walk into the living room. Mind racing, replaying the night over and over, like a broken record. How long had this been going on? Had I been this blind? This naive? Every moment in our relationship suddenly feels like a lie. All the time she smiled at me, kissed me, told me she loved me. Were those lies too? Collapse onto the couch. Stare at the ceiling. Phone buzzes in my pocket. For a second think maybe it's Melissa. Maybe she's going to apologize. Explain something. Anything. Pull out my phone. It's not her. Text from Anthony. "I know you need time, but don't do anything crazy. Call me if you need to talk." Drop the phone onto the coffee table. Don't even bother responding. Talking won't fix this. Nothing can fix this. Sit there for what feels like hours. Mind spinning, trying to make sense of everything. Find myself walking upstairs, toward our bedroom. Hesitate at the door. Hand hovering over the knob. Part of me doesn't want to go in. Don't want to see the bed we shared for years. The bed she probably shared with him too. Push the door open anyway. Stomach twisting into knots as I step inside. Room is dark, only lit by the faint glow of the streetlight outside. Everything looks the same, but doesn't feel the same. Walk over to her side of the bed, the side where she always slept. Notice her phone charger still plugged in. She hadn't even bothered to take it. Like she'd be back. Like everything was normal. Sit down on the edge of the bed, bury my face in my hands. Reality starting to sink in. Pain almost unbearable. She betrayed me. But worse than that, she doesn't even seem to care. The look in her eyes at the lounge. The way she brushed me off like I was nothing. Can't get it out of my head. Suddenly, something snaps inside. Can't sit here and wallow anymore. Need answers. Need to know why, how long this has been going on, what I did to deserve this. Stand up. Start pacing the room, heart pounding in my chest. Think about calling her, demanding answers. But deep down, know she won't give them. She'd lie, deflect, maybe even blame me again, like she did at the lounge. Then my eyes land on her laptop, sitting on the desk by the window, still open, screen glowing faintly. Must have used it earlier. Heart starts racing faster. Know it's wrong, but at this point don't care. Need to know the truth. Even if it tears me apart. Sit down at the desk, hands trembling. Lift the laptop's lid. Password screen flashes before me. Of course she has a password. Stare at the keyboard for a minute. Try the first thing that comes to mind. My name doesn't work. Stomach twists with anxiety. Try another. Her birthday. Nothing. About to give up. Then remember something from years ago. A password she used for everything back then. Our wedding anniversary. Type it in. Fingers moving slowly across the keys. Screen unlocks. Stare at it. Breath caught in my throat. There it is. Her inbox. Her messages. Her life that I've been shut out of. For God knows how long. Heart pounding so loud can barely think. Start scrolling through her emails. Her social media messages. Looking for something. Anything that would give me a clue about what's been going on behind my back. And then I find it. A string of messages from Vincent. Dating back months. Flirtations. Plans to meet up. Even disgusting comments about me. About how clueless I was. How easy it was to pull this off. Feel sick to my stomach. Hands gripping the sides of the laptop. So hard I might break it. The worst part isn't even the messages. It's the casual way they talk about me. Like I don't matter. Like I'm just a joke to them. My marriage. My life had been nothing but a punchline. Slam the laptop shut, breath coming in ragged gasps. Rage inside me boiling over. Can barely control it. Stand up, start pacing the room again. Fists clenched at my sides. Want to scream. Want to break something. But I don't. Instead, grab my phone. Dial her number. Rings once, twice, then goes to voicemail. Hang up. Text her instead. We need to talk now. No response. No, she's with him? Probably laughing about me, but don't care. Need to confront her. Need her to look me in the eyes. Tell me why she did this. Sit there in the darkness, waiting for her to respond. Heart pounding. Mixture of fury and despair. House feels colder than ever. Starting to realize, no matter what she says, there's no going back. Minutes stretch into hours. Sit there staring at my phone, waiting for a response that never comes. Every passing second feels like a knife, twisting deeper into my chest. Send her another text, then another. All I get is the same cruel silence, like I've become invisible to her, like everything we shared means nothing. Darkness outside begins to fade, faint light of dawn appearing. Haven't slept, haven't eaten, haven't done anything, but simmer in my own rage and despair. Mind keeps cycling through the same thoughts. What she did, what she said, the way she dismissed me in that lounge, like I meant nothing to her. Glance at her phone charger, still hanging from the outlet by the bed. That small, insignificant thing feels like another slap in the face. She hadn't even bothered to take her charger. She walked out knowing she wouldn't need it, knowing she wasn't coming back. Can't sit still any longer. Get up and start moving through the house. Still dark inside. Early morning light barely making a dent in the gloom. Footsteps echo in the quiet, making me feel more alone than ever. Wander into the bathroom. Flip on the light. That's when I see it. Her makeup scattered across the counter, her perfume still lingering in the air. Hits me like a punch to the gut. This room, our room, had once been filled with her presence, her laughter, her voice. Now it feels like a museum exhibit, everything left behind, perfectly in place. But the person who lived here is gone. Stare at myself in the mirror, barely recognize the man looking back. Face is pale, eyes bloodshot, dark circles forming underneath. Look like I haven't slept in days. Maybe I haven't. Not really. Not since this nightmare began. Can't move for a moment. Just stand there, staring into my own reflection, wondering how everything went so wrong. How I became this man. Broken. Lost. Betrayed. How had I let her slip away from me? Right under my nose. Think about all the little moments. That suddenly makes sense. The nights she stayed out late with friends. Times she canceled plans last minute. The way she'd been pulling away for months. It's all so clear now. Hate myself for not seeing it sooner. Grip the edge of the sink, knuckles turning white. Want to scream? Want to tear the whole damn bathroom apart? But instead just stand there, swallowing the anger, letting it fester inside me, then do something I hadn't planned. Open the cabinet under the sink, rummage through the drawer, where Melissa keeps her things. Hands move with a mind of their own. Searching for something, anything that might give me more answers. Then buried under hair products and lotions. I find it, her second phone. Heart stops. Had seen it before, months ago. When she claimed it was for work, said she didn't use it much. Hadn't thought anything of it at the time. But now, standing in that bathroom, with everything I've discovered, no better. Grab the phone, fingers trembling as I unlock it. Same password works, breath hitches in my throat. As screen lights up, revealing series of messages, notifications, things she kept hidden from me for months. First thing that pops up, message from Vincent. Can't wait to see you again. Last night was amazing. Words make my stomach churn. Scroll through the rest of the messages, hands shaking. There are photos, texts, plans, an entire secret life, unfolding right in front of me, the kind of life I wasn't part of, the kind of life she shared with someone else. Feel like I'm going to be sick. Drop the phone onto the counter, stumble backward until I hit the wall, head spinning, heart pounding so hard, feels like it might burst out of my chest. This is real. This is happening. She's been cheating on me for months, maybe longer, and I've been too blind, too trusting to see it. Slide down the wall, bury face in my hands. Weight of it all crushing me, suffocating me. Had given her everything. My love, my trust, my life. And this is how she repaid me. With lies, with betrayal. Stay there for a long time. Cold tile pressing against my back. Sound of my own breathing echoing in the room. Feel like I'm drowning in the pain. Like there's no way out of this hell. And then, just when thought couldn't feel any worse, phone buzzes. Pull it out of my pocket, expecting another message from Anthony. Or maybe some useless spam email. When I see the name on screen, heart stops. It's Melissa. Stare at her name for what feels like eternity. Thumb hovering over the screen. She finally responded. We need to talk. That's it. No apology. No explanation. Just those 4 words. As cold and detached as she had been at the lounge. Stand up. Rage boiling inside me again. Not going to wait around for her to come back and feed me more lies. Not going to be the fool she walked all over anymore. If she wants to talk, I'll give her one last conversation. But this time, I'm going to be the one in control. Grab my keys. Walk out the door. Early morning light spilling across the street. Head for the one place I know she'll be. Drive to Vincent's apartment is a blur. Barely register the streets, the traffic lights, the rising sun painting everything in sickly orange glow. All I can think about is her, Melissa, and the way she tore our life apart. Her message still burns in my mind. A hollow, heartless request. For a conversation that won't fix anything? Grip the steering wheel tighter. Knuckles turning white. Imagine the smug look on Vincent's face. When I show up, maybe he thinks I'd slink away. Broken and defeated, like a coward. But that's not happening. Not now, not after everything. Pull up to the building. Park car haphazardly along curb. Heart pounding in chest as I climb out. Slam the door behind me. Crisp morning air does nothing. To cool the fire burning inside me. Take a deep breath. Try to steady myself. This isn't just about confronting them. It's about finally getting closure. About making her look me in the eye. And explain why she did this. Building is one of those generic, soulless places. Just another apartment complex. Where everything looks the same. No Vincent's apartment number? From the messages on her phone, they talked about meeting here. More times than I care to count. Push open the door. Head for the stairs. Take them 2 at a time. Footsteps echoing off walls. By the time reach his door, pulse is racing. Breath coming in short, sharp bursts. Stand there for a moment. Fist poised to knock. Then stop. No more hesitation. No more waiting. For her to spin another web of lies. Not here to ask questions anymore. Here for answers. Bang on the door. Hard enough that it rattles on hinges. No response at first. Just muffled sound of movement inside. My chest tightens. They're both in there. Know it. Knock again. Louder this time. Hand trembling as I wait. Finally, door swings open. And there she is, Melissa, standing there in front of me, wearing nothing but some cheap bathrobe I've never seen before. Hair disheveled. Like she hasn't even tried to hide the fact she'd been with him. For a second, she looks surprised to see me, but it fades quickly. Replaced by that same cold indifference I saw in the lounge. Robert, she says, voice flat. What are you doing here? Clench my fists at my sides, anger surging through me like a tidal wave. We need to talk. Repeat her words back to her. That's all you have to say. After everything, you think we can just talk? She sighs, glances over her shoulder, clearly annoyed. This isn't the time, Robert. You shouldn't have come here. Push past her before she can stop me. Step into the apartment. Place is small, barely furnished, but it reeks of betrayal. The sight of the rumpled bed, scattered clothes on floor, like a slap to the face. Turn back to her, heart racing. Why Melissa? Demand, voice raw, trembling with everything I've been holding in. Why did you do this? After 8 years, why him? She crosses her arms, expression unreadable. I don't owe you an explanation, her voice sharp. Things haven't been right between us for a long time. You know that. That's not an answer. Shout the words, louder than intended. We could have worked on things. We could have talked. But instead you chose this. Him. Voice cracks on last word. Hurt slipping through cracks of anger. Melissa rolls her eyes, like she's tired of conversation already. It's not just about him, Robert. It's about me. I've been suffocating in this marriage, feeling trapped for years. You never saw it. You never cared to see it. Stare at her, disbelief flooding through me. I loved you, voice barely above whisper. I gave you everything, and that's the problem. She snaps, eyes narrowing. You never understood me. You were too busy playing the perfect husband, acting like everything was fine. While I was drowning, before I can respond, hear footsteps behind me. Don't have to turn around. Know who it is, Vincent. He walks into the room, arms still bandaged from last time, but smug look on his face hasn't changed. Stands next to Melissa, like he's daring me to do something. Leave, Robert, Vincent says, voice low, like he's speaking to a dog. This is between us now. Between us. Repeat the words. Taste bitter in my mouth. Look at Melissa. Search her face for something. Anything. That would make this hurt less. But all I see is same cold indifference. She doesn't love me anymore. Maybe she never did. Something inside me breaks. Rage that's been bubbling under surface explodes. But instead of attacking Vincent again, just laugh. It's hollow, bitter, but can't help it. Whole situation is so twisted, so far beyond anything could have imagined. All I can do is laugh. Fine. Say it. Voice empty. You want him? You can have him. But don't expect me to stand by and let you walk all over me like this. Melissa raises an eyebrow, her expression finally changing. Just a flicker of something. Maybe doubt. Maybe regret. But it's too late for that now. Turn and head for the door. But before I leave, look back one last time. You're going to regret this, Melissa. Say it. Voice steady. Even though heart is breaking all over again. Maybe not today, but someday you will. With that, walk out of apartment. Door slams shut behind me. Weight of everything crashes down as make my way to car. But this time, there's no turning back. Not going to be her fool any longer. Drive aimlessly after leaving Vincent's apartment. Adrenaline still coursing through veins, but anger now fading into something worse. Numbness. City streets blur past. Realize I have nowhere to go. No plan. No clear direction. Walked away from confrontation, but don't feel victorious. Feel lost. Pull into parking lot at random park. Switch off engine. Just sit there, staring at nothing. Sun has fully risen now, casting long shadows across empty lot. Feel like one of those shadows. Fading. Insignificant. Unmoved. Everything I thought I knew, everything I built with Melissa, gone just like that. Think about calling Anthony. But what could I say? That I confronted her? That I watched the woman I loved for 8 years stand next to another man and shrug off my pain like it didn't matter? Can't bring myself to relive that scene. Not yet. Instead, sit there. Silence pressing down. Like a weight. Had always imagined. If something like this ever happened, I'd know what to do. That I'd have some sense of clarity. Some resolve to move on and rebuild. But now that it's happened, feel more lost than ever. Eventually, phone buzzes in pocket. Pull it out, half expecting it to be Anthony again. But it's not. It's a text from Melissa. I'm sorry it had to happen like this. But I can't do this anymore. We need to move on. Move on. Those words sent fresh wave of anger surging through me. Can't believe her audacity. She's the one who tore our life apart. Who lied, cheated, betrayed me. And now she's acting like this was some mutual decision to part ways. Like we were two people who just grew apart. Instead of her ripping foundation of our marriage out from under me. Want to respond? Want to tell her exactly what I think. Of her cowardice, her betrayal. But stop myself. What's the point? She doesn't care. Not anymore. She made her choice. Nothing I say is going to change that. Instead, delete the message. Stare at empty screen for a moment before shoving phone back in pocket. Not going to let her have last word. Not like this. After sitting there for what feels like hours, finally make decision to head home. Home. Word feels strange now. Hollow. House isn't my home anymore. It's just a place filled with memories that have turned sour. When I get back, house feels even emptier than before. Silence is overwhelming. Oppressive. Walk through living room, into kitchen, then upstairs. My footsteps echo off walls. Everything's still in its place. Bed unmade from night before. Her clothes still hanging in closet. Her perfume still lingering in air. But it all feels wrong. Like I'm living in someone else's life. Stand in bedroom for a while, staring at the bed, trying to process everything. The anger has burned out, leaving only exhaustion in its place. Sit down on edge of bed, run hand over sheets. Feel fabric beneath fingers. This is where we built our life together. Where we shared dreams, promises, so many intimate moments. And now it feels like a tomb, holding ghost of relationship that was never real. After what feels like eternity, force myself to start moving. Can't just sit here in this house, drowning in memories of what once was. Need to do something. Anything? To feel like I'm in control of my own life again. Grab a box from closet, start throwing her things into it. Clothes, shoes, makeup. All the things that had once been part of our life together, need them gone. Need her gone. Each item tossed into box. Feels like small release, way of reclaiming some part of myself. But with every piece of her pack away, there's fresh stab of pain. Reminder that woman I loved is no longer person I thought she was. Halfway through clearing out her things, find old photo of us from our honeymoon. Smiling, happy, full of hope and love. Stare at it. Feel lump rise in throat. How had we gone from that to this? How had everything fallen apart so completely? Crumple photo in hand. Tears threatening to spill over. But don't cry. Not yet. Instead, throw picture into box. Slam lid shut. This is the end. Not going to let her have any more power over me. Not her. Not Vincent. Not ghost of life we used to have. Drag box downstairs. Leave it by door. Deal with it later. For now, need to be away from this place. Need to clear head. Grab jacket. Keys. Head outdoor without looking back. Park is quiet when I arrive. Same one I stopped at earlier. But now it feels different. Calmer. Air is crisp. Trees starting to turn their leaves. Mix of gold and red. Sit down on bench. Let cool breeze wash over me. Try to ground myself in something real. Something solid. Have no idea what my next move will be. Divorce is inevitable. No coming back from this, but thought of starting over. Of rebuilding life from ground up feels impossible. Where do you even begin after something like this? I sit there, staring at trees swaying in wind. Realize maybe that's the answer. Maybe there isn't a plan. Maybe it's just about putting one foot in front of other. One day at a time, until pain starts to fade. Won't be easy. Know that, but as sit there in quiet, feel strange sense of clarity settling in. Can't change what happened. Can't undo her betrayal, but can choose what happens next. Can choose to move forward, to heal, to find myself again. For first time in what feels like days, take deep breath. Let air fill lungs. It isn't much, but it's a start. Sit and park for what feels like hours. Cool breeze steadying thoughts. Mind still raw from everything, but starting to settle. There isn't magic switch to make it all disappear, but at least for first time since caught Melissa in that lounge. Feel small measure of control returning. Don't need all answers right now. Just need to keep moving forward. By time get home again, sun is low in sky, casting long shadows across yard. Box of Melissa's things still sits by door. Heavy reminder of everything that crumbled over last few days. Stare at it for a while, then grab phone. Scroll through contacts until find lawyer's number. Hadn't wanted to make that call, but know it's inevitable. There's no coming back from this. Phone rings twice before pickup. Robert, it's been a while. How can I help you? Can hear concern in his voice. Haven't talked to Peter in years. Back when needed legal advice for something small. Now weight of what about to say feels heavier than ever. I need to file for divorce, Peter. Say it. Voice hoarse from long day. Words feel foreign on tongue. Like saying them out loud makes everything too real. There's pause on other end, then quiet sigh. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Let's meet tomorrow. I'll walk you through everything. Okay? Nod though he can't see me. Thanks, Peter. I appreciate it. Settle on time to meet. After hang up, reality of what's happening starts to sink in. Divorce. It feels like failure, like ultimate defeat. But after everything that happened, there's no other choice. Can't stay with her. Not after the lies, the betrayal, the way she dismissed me, like I didn't matter. And truth is, I deserve better. Go back inside, body feeling heavier with each step. House still filled with memories. Good ones, bad ones, but they're all tainted now. Each corner of house reminds me of her, of what we built together, and of life we'd both destroyed. Feel like I'm living in ruins, of something that once was beautiful, but there's no turning back. Decision is made. Pour myself drink. Sit down on couch, stare at box of her things. Feels like strange finality, packing away her presence from my life. As hard as it is, know it's necessary. Can't move on if keep holding on to pieces of her, to pieces of life that doesn't exist anymore. Sip whiskey. Mind wanders back to last 8 years. There had been good times, real good times. Laughter, love, moments when thought we were invincible. And there had been bad times too. Moments of doubt, frustration, distance. But never in all those years had imagined it would end like this. With betrayal, with man like Vincent, with her standing next to him, choosing him over me. But it had. Lean back on couch, stare up at ceiling. What did I learn from all this? That even people you love most can betray you? That trust is fragile. And once it's broken, nearly impossible to repair? No, that wasn't it. What learned was, had to start trusting myself again. Somewhere along the way, had lost that, had trusted Melissa more than trusted my own instincts, had ignored signs, brushed off small changes, convinced myself things were fine. When they weren't, had let myself become blind to what was really happening because didn't want to face truth. But truth was unavoidable now. It had shattered everything and was left to pick up pieces. Finish drink, set glass down on table with soft clink. Decision to leave her behind, to move forward with divorce. It hurts like hell, but it's right thing to do. Can't spend rest of life with someone who doesn't value me, who doesn't respect me enough to be honest. Think about advice I would give to someone else in my situation. It's simple, really. Trust your gut. Don't ignore little things, the signs that something is wrong. And most importantly, know your worth. Don't let anyone make you feel like you're less than you are. As sit there, house finally quiet around me. Realize this isn't the end. It's beginning of something new. Something not quite ready for, but something necessary. Have long road ahead, full of uncertainty, pain, and healing, but at least finally walking away from wreckage, finally reclaiming my life. Glance at box by door one last time, and without hesitation, stand up, grab it, take it outside. Night is cool. As set box down by trash cans, feel strange sense of relief. It isn't over yet, not by long shot, but it's first step, and that's enough. Next morning, wake up feeling different, lighter maybe. There are still echoes of pain, memories that will take time to fade, but something has shifted. Not living in past anymore, not waiting for answers, or trying to fix something that can't be repaired. Have my own life to live, my own path to walk, and for first time in long time ready to do just that.